everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, November 12th through Sunday, November 18th, 2018. Just a reminder, if you haven't already watched the monthly angel card reading for the month of November, it's on my YouTube channel under Colleen Lemma. You'll want to make sure that you watch that. It's a very important and pivotal month, in my opinion, and a time of taking a leap of faith and moving in new directions and being open to new opportunities. So make sure you go and watch that monthly angel card reading. So for this weekly angel card reading, we're going to be using the Fairy Tarot deck by Radleigh Valentine for the message for everyone. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Magical Messages from the Fairies deck. So let's go ahead and take a look at your stones of choice. And these are actually some of my special intention pendants. I used them once or twice in previous videos, and everybody seemed to really like that. So every once in a while, I am going to show you what some of those are. And when I say special intention pendants, it's because I take a particular stone or crystal, I wrap it in silver or gold wire, and I Reiki that stone or pendant, I should say, and infuse it with certain intentions and bring in and call in certain archangel energies or ascended master energies according to what I get in meditation regarding what that stone, crystal, pendant is all about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the first special intention pendant. Let me get a nice good hold on it here. This, and I don't know if the light is very good so that you can actually see the beautiful pink color in this, but this is a pink aventurine special intention pendant. It's wrapped in silver. It's Reiki charged with the vibration of master number 33, which is the number of unconditional love for self and others, as well as the number of increased psychic vision and abilities. It has the qualities of the sign of Sagittarius in it, which helps you to determine your higher purpose and find your inspiration in life. It has the qualities of the planet Neptune in it, which is going to be a planet of connecting to the divinity within yourself. It also has intentions of opening up the heart chakra to love, romance, compassion, friendship, your inner child, inner strength, emotional balance, and the divine feminine. And I've called in Archangel Chamuel, who assists with your life purpose and with soulmate relationships. Your second stone of choice, or special intention pendant, is this beautiful, vibrant green malachite. So this special intention malachite crystal, this one's wrapped in gold wire. And it has with it the vibration of the number 6, which is the number of deep emotional healing. It's also the number, numerologically speaking, that relates to home and family and the balance of work versus like home activities, or your inner life versus your outer life, and balancing that. It has infused in it the moon energy, which is the energy of the divine feminine and the planet that rules your intuitive and psychic abilities. It has the intentions of the water element, which is for going with the flow and to increase your empathic ability or clairsentience ability, which is the psychic ability for clear feeling or sensing. I've also called in Archangel Raphael for this pendant, which gives it the energies for healing of the physical and emotional bodies, as well as he's the archangel that helps with healing relationship matters. And then your last special intention pendant is this beautiful Lemurian seed record keeper quartz, and this one's wrapped in gold wire as well. Now, most Lemurian seed crystals have, or clear quartz crystals have a clear or a point to them. This one has a flat bottom, which is why it's a feminine Lemurian record quartz crystal and not a masculine one. This one's been Reiki charged with the vibration of master number 11, the number of the light worker energy. It's been given the qualities of the sign of Aquarius for freedom and independence. I've infused in this one the idea of the element or the qualities of the element air, or the air element, which is about communication and ideas. And I've called in Archangel Raziel for this one. Archangel Raziel's energies of divine magic, psychic abilities, alchemy, divine wisdom and knowledge. And of course, because it's a feminine Lemurian seed record keeper quartz crystal, it also has the energies of the divine feminine and new birth. All right, so again, your special intention pendants of choice are the pink aventurine, the malachite, or the Lemurian seed record keeper quartz, the feminine one. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the astrological energies for the week. Now, there's not a lot necessarily going on, not like last week. Last week was a very pivotal week, just to recap, because we had Uranus, the Great Awakener, retrograding back into the sign of Aries, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, the sign of initiation, independence, taking charge and making things happen. Last week we also had a new moon in Scorpio, so a time of new beginnings on a very deep transformative level. And then we also had Jupiter, the planet of abundance, prosperity, blessings, opportunities, expansion, moving into his home sign of Sagittarius. Now again, that was all last week. So by comparison, it might seem like this week isn't as important or that there's not enough going on. But there is 3 things going on here. And we skip all the way to Thursday, the 15th of November, for the first thing that we're going to talk about. And that is the planet Mars, which rules initiation, energy, and action. And it's moving out of the sign of Aquarius and into the sign of Pisces, where it's going to be until the end of December. Now, Mars is a warrior energy. It rules masculine energy, or the divine masculine. So again, take charge, leadership, energy, make things happen, push forward, move forward. Now, while it was in Aquarius, and while it's still in Aquarius from Monday through Wednesday of this week, it is putting its energy towards those humanitarian group kind of endeavors. This is about connecting with people of like mind. It is doing things in the service of humanity. Aquarius energy is also very idea-oriented or inspirationally, kind of universally oriented. In other words, it's kind of like an open crown chakra and downloading higher vibrational energies from another dimension. So again, while Mars is still in the sign of Aquarius in the early part of this week, and as it's getting towards the end of, it's going to intensify and increase these energies of, again, just like ideas flowing, ideas shaking and moving, and things that are possibilities kind of coming in. Now, when it moves into Pisces on Thursday, we're going to feel that shift, because Pisces is now a water sign. Mars is a fire planet. We're going into a water sign, so it might feel like it quelches the flames, so to speak. Now, Mars does also rule our physical energy, so know that as Mars moves out of Aquarius, where again, fire planet in an air sign kind of increases the physical energy, as Mars moves into a water sign, Pisces, it might feel like we don't have as much energy. We might feel a little bit more tired. It's not anything where we're going to be so tired for, until the end of December, but again, it just kind of squelches that, that kind of static electricity sort of energy that we had when Mars was in Aquarius. So things kind of settle down a little bit. Now, as far as making things happen, moving forward, or making decisions, or initiating things, again, Mars in Pisces is not as great of a placement for those kinds of qualities. Now, I will say, however, because Pisces does rule the spiritual realm, okay, and it rules, our psychic abilities, and it rules, all things that are unseen. So that's why it, again, it rules that spiritual realm kind of energy. So this is like the mark of the spiritual warrior. This is number one, is I want to say Mars in Pisces is like the spiritual warrior. And if you're working on any creative, artistic, and especially spiritual projects with Pisces there, this is a good placement for that. So again, Mars is energy in action. You're putting it towards the creative, the artistic, the musical even, or the spiritual projects, career path, endeavors like meditation or writing, or doing spiritual activities or getting together with groups of spiritual people. That kind of thing is going to be highlighted, not only this week when it goes into Pisces, but again through the end of December. Then the next day that's going to be looked at here is Friday. That's actually the only other day that there's a couple of things happening. Friday the 16th, we have Venus, the planet of relationships, partnerships, as well as the ruler of money and finances, going back to direct motion. We call it stationary direct. So it's stationary direct on Friday at 25 degrees of Libra. If you remember in some of the previous weeks, Venus went into Scorpio and then went retrograde in Scorpio, and it's retrograded here back into Libra, a few degrees of Libra here. So that whole retrograde through Scorpio and Libra brings in again Libra relationships and partnerships, and Scorpio transformation, as well as other people's money and resources, because that's something that Scorpio rules as well. So we've had to kind of iron things out while Venus was retrograde. We've had to kind of go over our sense of power within relationship matters. We've had to kind of go over and understand or take our power back within regards to finances and the sharing of money and finances, whether it be with business partners or with our, romantic significant other or within family systems. It's been about that. Now that Venus is going back to direct motion, and she actually will stay in Libra until December 2nd, and then that's when she'll move back into Scorpio. We're still now starting to express more on an outer level what we've learned on an inner level when Venus was retrograde, if that makes any sense. So now we're able to communicate maybe a little bit better with partners, business partners included, regarding our sense of equality and fairness and things being, just and equal and balanced. And then again, when it moves back into Scorpio, where it first originally went retrograde, we'll be able to express a little bit better or have things unfold a little bit better in regards to money, finances, things regarding, again, death and rebirth and transformation, all of those Scorpio kinds of ideas. Also on Friday the 16th, we have another planet changing directions, but instead of a planet changing to direct motion like Venus is, we have Mercury changing to retrograde motion. So they both happen on the same day. It's going to be a very interesting day, maybe also Thursday, maybe the day after Saturday as well, that 3-day period of time. Mercury is the planet that rules communication, ideas, our thoughts, how we think. And it is going retrograde at 13 degrees of Sagittarius, which is a good placement for Mercury because Mercury likes to think and be quick about it, and they kind of like to communicate. And Sagittarius is also kind of a communication, sharing of ideas, sharing of belief systems, sharing information kind of sign. So although it's not the ruling sign for Mercury, he is quite comfortable there. So as he goes retrograde at 13 degrees of Sagittarius, he's going to be retrograde until December 6th. Now he does go back and dips back into Scorpio right at the end of this month of November, like right at the beginning of December. He'll go back into Scorpio until December 6th, when it then goes back to direct motion, stay in Scorpio for a few more days, and then get back into Sagittarius. So, again, when it goes back into Scorpio, you're going to feel that shift of energy and how people are communicating with one another, what their thoughts are all about. It's going to be much more deep and maybe secretive and maybe transformative and maybe more about money situations or financial situations, whereas Mercury here in Sagittarius is much more inspired, much more creative, much more awe-inspiring as far as information being downloaded from a higher realm and at a faster rate. People are talking more about, their belief systems or their what they believe as far as, their religious kind of direction or pursuit. It's also a great placement, Mercury in Sagittarius, for learning new things or taking new classes, that kind of thing. Higher learning is what Sagittarius rules. So while it's retrograde, it's a great time to read new books, take new classes. Even as it is in direct motion, it's a good time to do all of that. All right, so that's all that's happening astrologically. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cards from the Fairy Tarot deck and see what message comes out for this week. So our first card is the King of Spring. And this is like the King of Wands in the traditional tarot. It's a fire suit, a fire element. And the King of Spring says innovative, inspiring, wise, and theatrical. Okay, the King is the leader. The King is, out of all the court cards, you know, we have the Page, which is the youngest or most inexperienced. We have the Knight, which is still a young energy, but a little bit more developed. We have the Queen, and then we have the King. So the message at the bottom actually says a financial windfall, okay? It says your leadership skills are needed now and an unexpected supporter of your cause. Now that's interesting because Mars is going into Pisces. However, remember, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe part of Thursday before Mars goes into Pisces, it's still in Aquarius. And so that's what I feel like when I see the King of Spring. We have Mars, the fire planet. It's in an air sign, so it's really ramping up those energies of creation and leadership and moving forward and making decisions about new projects or networking. And again, there's a possibility of a financial windfall, it says here, and that makes me think of Venus. You know, Venus turning back to direct motion on Friday. Venus does rule money and finances. So that might be part of this message as well. But, you know, mostly it's like I feel like we start out the week much more energetic, much more inspired, much more creative, like we're making things happening. So I would take Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I would initiate things, start new things, make decisions based on, you know, your highest and best interest or what feels right to you. Take a stand, be a leader. Take charge of your life, or maybe you end up getting some sort of promotion. Some of you feel like some of you that might be part of the financial windfall, as you get a raise or you get a promotion or you get a new opportunity within regards to your career or business or life path or destiny path. And that new opportunity for some of you too, not necessarily in the career, but it could be networking with somebody new that gives you a new idea or gives you a new source of connections with other people or something of that nature. But this is a very inspiring card to start the week. And you notice that there's a second card here, and that's because two cards came out of the deck here at the same time. So we're going to take a look at this card as well. And this is Unity. So Unity, this is Major Arcana number 5. In the traditional tarot, it's called the Hierophant, but in this deck, it's called Unity. And this to me makes me think about groups of people again. So I want to say the early part of the week with the King of Spring and the Unity card, network with groups of like-minded people. Or, excuse me, even if you don't think that a person has the same ideas, excuse me, as you. I'm going to cough here, so I'm going to try not to. But I feel like you need to network outside of your box. You know, this is about like calling somebody that maybe is different than what you might normally, excuse me, think about to network with. A group, a person, a friend, an associate that again might seem a little bit unusual to you. So it's almost like you're taking a risk or you're going outside of your box is the message I'm getting. But the message at the bottom of this card is do the right thing for the right reason. And then it says compare traditional, I'm trying to read this, compare traditional results. Okay, let me look at this. Compare traditional versus new approaches. Sorry about that. The lighting here is not the best today. So compare traditional versus new approaches. I'm sure you guys are laughing now, to see which works for you. A spiritually minded community. Okay, I'm laughing at myself too on the inside. So yeah, I see the sun coming in, but over here it's shadowed. So hopefully you can still see this. This again makes me feel of like-minded people. This is like, I feel like you're needing to make new connections for some reason. These new connections might help your business. These new connections might give you new ideas. These new connections might end up being new friends. These new connections might lead you to a new direction or the next step on your path in some way. So whatever this is about, use the energy in the early part of the week to, connect in unity with people both of like mind, but also people that might be outside of your box. All right. So thank you for your patience as I avoided coughing. All right, so the next card here is the Seven of Autumn. This is the Seven of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. And the message at the bottom of this card says, have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time and money. So this is almost like taking some downtime as you planted some seeds. Now, whether you planted the seeds earlier in the week, like the first two cards suggest, or maybe you've planted some seeds a few weeks and a few months ago, okay? But I feel like this is about both Venus and Mercury changing directions on Fridays, because it's going to feel like something's not necessarily stagnant, but it might feel more of a standstill, or it just might feel like a weird energy, or it might feel like there's a pause in the action. There's something that you got to kind of wait for, and that's why this card says have patience. The number 7 sometimes is about patience as far as outer action is concerned, because the number 7 is more about internal processing, about alone time, about contemplation time. And this card does say about contemplating your next step. You might have to have patience before making a decision, or maybe you should take a little time before making a decision. Don't feel rushed, don't feel hurried. And especially because Mercury is going retrograde. When Mercury goes retrograde, we have to review details. We have to review ideas. There's going to be more information coming in that we don't know yet. So it's better to wait about signing contracts or initiating a new business or starting something new at all with Mercury retrograde. And this card kind of reflects that. You can see the fairy there as he's sitting there sort of in contemplation, thinking about something, waiting for more information. Meditating on what his next step is. So again, have patience and no need for worry. This is a time of internal healing as well, as it says, take time to rest. So as I said, with Mars going into Pisces, you might feel a little bit like, wow, why am I feeling a little bit more tired than usual? Those first couple of days when Mars moves into Pisces, take more time to rest, take more time to heal, just take some downtime for yourself, do some self-care. All right. So I find it interesting that the first card, the King of Spring, talked about some sort of financial windfall, and this one here, the Seven of Autumn, says a prudent investment of time or money. So there might be, you might be feeling very affluent, or you might be feeling blessed in some way with more money in the beginning of the week or more resources in the beginning of the week. And here by midweek or just after midweek, you might be needing to think about how you want to use those resources or those opportunities or those new connections or financially with money before you move forward. All right, let's take a look at the last card here. Okay, another major arcana number 12, an awakening. And this card says, change the way you're looking at the situation. Embrace your uniqueness and a temporary pause in the action. So these last two cards, the Seven of Autumn and this awakening card, which in the traditional tarot is the Hanged Man. You can see this fairy is kind of hanging upside down by one foot, like the Hanged Man is usually shown. This is about action being suspended for a moment, not for a really long time, but remember, Mars in Pisces might not feel as movement-oriented as Mars in Aquarius was, let's say. But again, by the beginning of next year, and I know that feels like it's far away, but by January, Mars will be moving into Aries. That will be the first sign of the zodiac, a fire sign, a time of initiation and energy, and just really things are going to unfold really rapidly after the first of the year. So not that nothing will happen, but again, right now, there's a little bit of suspension of time. There's a little bit of need for pause and reflection, again, especially with Mercury retrograde. So maybe after December 6th, when Mercury goes direct and starts to pick up speed, we're going to feel, like things are slowly starting to unfold. But for now, have patience. It is, as we get to the end of the year anyway, in the holiday season, it is sort of a time of reflection. People start reviewing the past year and reviewing their life thus far. And, it's kind of that time of reflection anyway, as we get into the winter months here in the Northern Hemisphere. But definitely, one of the main things here with the first sentence is change your perspective. Don't feel like nothing's happening, or don't feel like you've failed, or don't feel like, whatever it might be. This is really a time to just really change the way you think, change the way you believe about yourself and about your life, and allow this awakening of a higher consciousness to take place. Allow this awakening of a new energy, even if this new energy is about a little bit of downtime, a little bit of reflective time, a little bit of contemplation, thinking about what your next steps are going to be. It's still an awakening, even if it doesn't feel super action-oriented, okay? So again, utilize the first part of the week. I'm going to put the King of Fire here on top because I like that energy. Let's go ahead and see what our special message card is depending on your special intention pendant of choice. So let's give the fairy deck a little bit of a shuffle and calling in those of the highest vibration of light. And for the people that chose the pink aventurine special intention pendant, this one's calling me. Flower power. Okay, flower power. It says spend time with flowers and flower essences to increase your personal healing power. Okay, so the message for you is about almost like plant medicine or flower medicine, and I'm going to include the plant medicine with the herbs as well. That could be like chamomile, sage, those are all plants. But specifically flower power is about the vibrations of flowers, and not just in flower essences, but we'll get to that in a minute, but even the flowers themselves. Like if you went out and bought yourself sunflowers and, put them in a vase, or went out and bought yourself roses, or went out and bought yourself tulips, or went out into the garden, for those of you that are in a place where there's still flowers growing, on the ground or in a greenhouse. Those flowers have a particular vibration, and they actually spiritually connect with certain ideas and certain energies. So you might want to look up, if you are drawn to a particular flower, you buy some, look up what those flowers are all about and what metaphysically or spiritually they can initiate as an energy for you. Now, flower essences are already a bottled essence from the flower itself, and what they do is help you to change patterns within your body, mind, and energy field regarding something. For instance, like poverty consciousness, there's flower essences that can help with that. Lack of confidence, or feeling disempowered, or whatever the pattern might be, there's a flower essence most likely that can help you to heal from that pattern. And it's a nice way, especially as we're nearing the end of the year and we're nearing that self-reflective time of the year, to actually do some healing for yourself. So look into the flower essences. A lot of people like to use the Bach flower essences, B-A-C-H. There's also a great line that I love, which is F-E-S. The initials F as in Frank, E as in egg, S as in Sam, flower essences. So, look those up or call a practitioner. I often will muscle test my clients for particular flower essences that they might need. So if that's something that, might be of interest to you, keep in mind that I or other people probably in your area can muscle test you or energetically test you for what might be appropriate for you to bring about healing. All right, and then for those of you that, that was for the first one, sorry. For those of you that chose the Malachite Special Intention Pendant, this one's already calling my attention, Malachite people. Ooh, your desire is within reach. Beautiful. And it says, have faith as everything is working in your favor. So again, have patience is the message here. Keep on moving towards your goals. It may not happen by the end of the year, although it may. But again, as we move into 2019, things are going to start to unfold more rapidly. It's going to be a new universal year energy. Mars will be moving into Aries, as I mentioned. And so whatever it is that you're desiring, maybe it's within your love life, within family matters, within money and finances, with your career path or life path, those goals are attainable, and your angels and guides are assisting you in creating them and making them happen. I also feel like music for you, inspiring music, maybe it's flute music, maybe it's harp or violin music, you know, something that is more of a spiritual quality. That's going to help to ramp up the energies of forward movement and manifestation, because it's almost going to put you in a place of visualizing, you know, on some level what it is that you're desiring. So that's going to help you to move forward as well. They're also saying artistic things that are artistic or musical will help you. And then for those of you that chose the Lemurian Seed Special Intention Pendant, let's give this a little shuffle. Lemurian Seed, the feminine Lemurian Seed crystal. Asking for that card to show itself, and this one's calling my attention. And this one says, walk away. And it says, leave the unhealthy situation and enjoy the new doors that are open as a result. So there's something that you need to kind of leave behind. It might be a situation or circumstance. It might be some sort of relationship, again, friendship, business, romantic. But it definitely could also just be a way of thinking, an old belief system, an old karmic pattern. That might be what you need to walk away from. There's a need to empower yourself in some way is what I'm getting here. And take your power back and really feel confident in yourself. And I feel like some of you are definitely feeling like you don't know if you can move forward in a particular situation, or you're lacking, again, that either motivation or that confidence or courage to make a change or take a step or redirect your life. But I'm definitely getting the idea that you can do it, that you will do it, that things are going to happen for you. Again, there's an old, whether it's a heavy energy or just an energy that's not in alignment with you anymore, that is no longer needed for you. And it's time to think about moving towards something brighter and lighter. And I'm getting the message that by springtime of 2019, that you're going to start really having more clarity and feeling a lot better and feeling much more confident and energized about your path and about where you're going next. So give yourself some time, you know, whether it's something you're leaving behind or walking away from this week or by the end of the year, give yourself some time to kind of heal from that. And again, springtime of next year, I feel like is a good time for you. All right, so I hope all of you have liked this weekly angel card reading. Thank you all for those that comment or subscribe or share my video. Follow me on my Facebook pages under Colleen Lemma and Sacred Soul Empowerment. And thank you for all of those that check in with my website with different things that I've got going on, classes or some of my spiritual products, or, you know, with my readings and healings and things like that. I appreciate all of you, and I send you lots of love and light and many, many angel blessings.